Hi guys, how are you doing? The last time I told us about how I became sick. When I got back to my house, that is after the prayer at the village, the worst happened. And what was that? A particular night, I went to bed. All my kids went to bed. Then they were too small. And in the middle of the night, something happened. I just woke up and I got up from where I was lying down because I placed a mattress on the floor and I slept off there. Then in the middle of the night, I woke up. When I woke up, I stood up and looked. I saw my body lying down on the floor and I saw my children lie down on the bed sleeping. So what I did next was to turn and walk to the door. But instead of opening the door to walk out, I just passed through the door and left. And the next place I found myself was in my father's house. My sisters, it looks like they came back to the house. I came inside the house, I saw them, and I noticed that it was equally nighttime because they were all putting on their night wears, but they were still chatting and laughing at the sitting room. So I joined them, but nobody saw me. So when the discussion was going on and they were all talking to each other, laughing, giggling, nobody was looking at me, nobody was talking to me, so I got worried. I decided to touch one of them on the laps, to draw her attention. Instead of touching her, my hand passed through her laps. I had to withdraw my hand immediately and I became scared. Immediately, I saw a woman sitting opposite me in our sitting room, looking at me. And I noticed that the woman was the only person that can see me. And the woman asked me, "Do I want to know what actually happened?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Follow me." So I got up immediately. I went out with the woman because I really wanted to know what was happening. She took me outside and asked me to follow a particular road. I obeyed and I followed the road. The moment I followed that road, I appeared at a particular place, a particular building. And then when I walked into that building, I noticed a very long hall. I saw a long hall with a very long table and some people that I called judges sitting behind the table. And then when I looked on the left-hand side of that hall, I saw a lot of people crying, shouting. They were being pushed and dragged into a door that was on the left-hand side. They didn't want to go into that door, but they were being pushed inside that door. Majority, many in number. And then I looked at the right-hand side. I saw a very few people, countable in number, like 3, 4, 5, jubilating, jumping up and down. They were so happy that we are going in through the right door. Then I sat down. I kept on watching the drama. The next thing I noticed was one of the judges signaled me, the man at the extreme by the right. And then I walked up to him. And he opened a very mighty book, a very large book, golden in color, looked into the book and shut the book. Then he looked at me and asked me, "Who sent you here?" And I told him, "I didn't know." He looked at me again and asked me, "Why are you here?" I told him I didn't know, that I'm confused, that I only came there to find out what is actually happening, that I didn't know what is happening. He told me, "You will go back." The moment he said that you will go back, no. I told him no, that I don't want to go back, that I've been sick for a very long time, but ever since I came into that building, that my body became cool and calm, and that I want to stay there, that I don't want to go back. The man repeated again, "You will go back." So I started crying, begging him not to allow me to go back. He said no, that my husband and my children needs me. And I told him that they are fine, they are okay, they are not sick, that I was the only person who was sick. The man said, "You will go back." He brought out an envelope, a white envelope with blue and red stripes at the edges. I don't know if you can remember the envelope. So he wrote something down on the envelope, handed the envelope over to me. And I asked him, what will I do? He told me that I'm going to do something for him. And I said, okay, when I get to this place, what will I tell them? He said, when you get there, you will know exactly what to do. You are going to work for me. So I tried to walk through that right door where those happy people were going into. I wanted to pass through that right door. He refused. He asked me to turn back and follow the exact road that I followed before I got there. So the moment I turned back, walked out from that building, I saw myself, in a place just like garden. It looks as if somebody that just came into the world immediately. That was what happened. I was just all alone, like in a place like field or garden with beautiful flowers. And then I saw a man carrying a little child. The man that I saw carrying the child reminded me of the picture of Saint Joseph with the child Jesus. So I walked straight to the man and I called him. I told him, please, that I need help, that I'm confused, that I don't know where I am. He asked me if I am coming from, there is something he mentioned as the name of that place. And I said, yes. He said, welcome back to life. So the moment he said, welcome back to life, I became scared the more. And the little child he was carrying, a little baby, opened his mouth and said, that am I scared that the father said, welcome back to life? I nodded my head and the child said, okay, that is going to show me that I am still alive and not dead. So the child took my finger and bit my finger, and I felt that pain. And the child said that it is only flesh and blood that can feel pain, that once you are dead, you will no longer feel anything. And so the man directed me on the path to follow so that I would get to my destination. I thanked him and I followed the path. The moment I entered the road that he asked me to follow, I found myself inside my bedroom again. But when I got into my bedroom, I didn't see my children anymore on the bed. I only saw my body still lying down on the floor, the exact position it was when I left. And I looked at my hand. I don't have that envelope anymore. So what I did was, after some time, I decided to lie down on my body and I woke up. When I woke up, I picked up my phone and checked, and it was some minutes past 11. And opened the door and called on my husband. He walked in immediately and he was so worried. He asked me, what kind of sleep is this? How can you be sleeping up till now? That he has checked me several times and that, noticed that I was still sleeping. The children wanted to wake me up. He had to bring them out from the room so that they wouldn't disturb me. I took my shower. He brought my food. I ate and life continued. But I started noticing that the sickness started reducing. A sickness that happens like in a month. I'll be sick for 3 weeks and I will just have 1 week break. I started noticing, started reducing from 3 weeks to 2 weeks, from 2 weeks to 1 week. From 1 week, the sickness vanished. The story will still continue. We still have a lot to talk about. Bye.